Good morning, everybody. Hello. Hi.
Morning.
Hello.
Morning.
Okay, we're just waiting for a few more people. Morning. I'm going to take attendance. So I'm just going to shout people's name. I think we're still expecting a lot more, but the list is kind of long. So if you guys could just say here when you hear your name, okay? Actually, there's 2 more people. Jacob, he just got here. Christopher, Kid.
Here.
Okay. Eileen, Liang.
Here.
Robert Kershaw. Sylvina Howard. No. David.
Here.
Ian.
Here.
Schizman. Okay.
Here.
Kevin Lau.
Here.
Okay. Kyle Parker.
Yeah.
Okay. Jian Lee.
Yes.
Thank you. Zola Campbell. Zola. Here. Alexander Smith. Christina Schloss. Summer Buick. No. Briley Morris. No.
Hello.
Helia. Oh, Briley, you're here. Hi. Helia Wong. Nope. Kaylee Stahl. No. Carletta.
Here.
Oh, some people just got in. Hold on. Aaron Lee, you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Naya, I saw you.
Yeah.
Gabby, you
Hi.
here? Hi. Morning. Charlotte George.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi.
Hi.
Larnie.
Here.
Oh, hi. Kevin Kwam. Nope. Justin Warner. Nicholas Westervelt.
Here.
Okay. Oops.
Kevin does teach iGarden, so he might be doing that.
Okay. Kevin Kwam.
Yeah, he's part of
Okay,
our branch.
Okay, I see. Thanks for letting me know.
Yep.
Emily Nguyen. Okay, Michaela. Oh, here.
Yeah, here.
Michaela Butler
Here.
and Roz Calder. Not here. Okay, so for some people, I think some people came in while I was checking attendance. Who did I not call? There's kind of a lot of people. Oh yeah, Jacob. Okay, Jacob, Robbie. Okay. Christina, what's your last name? Schloss. Is that you? Yeah. Okay. All right, one more. Sylvina, are you here?
Yeah,
Zola.
I'm here.
Oh, Sylvina's here. Zola, sorry guys, it's just like there's so many people, couldn't see them. Oh, Kevin, you said might not be here. Helia and Kaylee. No? Okay. Oh, Zola's here. Then say it. Just kidding. Okay. Welcome everyone. So this is your V1 continued training. Is everyone at the right place? Yes. There's a lot of people here. So if you guys have any questions, please use the raise hand function so that I could see so that you pop up. Okay. So hello, my name is Nikka. I am one of the trainers here and also the FM of main branch. Nice to meet everyone. I'm just going to get started because we have a jam-packed hour. At the very end of this hour, I would like to also say that you have to write a post-test training or take the post-test training kind of like the pre-training. So you do need to pay attention and take notes as much as you can. Okay, so we'll get started. Hold on. Okay. Am I coming off clear? Can everybody hear me? Yes. Okay. So V1 is our book class. It's our storytelling class. So V actually starts for visual learning. So that's what it was geared for, but it is not similar to any of the classes that you guys have trained. So if everyone has been doing C1 and C2 this term, or even A2 and A3 the term prior, this one is very different. You guys will also do A2 training, I believe, today, some of you. So it's also very different from that, okay? So a V1 class has an actual textbook or storybook. So for example, V1 Birdie has Stargirl and Bill Gates. Okay, so the objective of it is for the students to learn through visual learning, like comprehending what's the theme of the books, and then their application is project based. So kind of like C2, where you have a project. But again, so this session will mostly just tell you about how this segment is. Like I'll just give you a breakdown of what the class entails, but you still should ask your managers how the class is run at your own location, because it does differ from each location, right? So for V1, usually you do have project every week. Like in the actual Smart Learning textbook, you have a project each week. But maybe your location does not allow a project each week, or maybe you just do it every other week, or maybe there's some bigger weeks, okay? So you have to check with that. So I am going to just go over the actual segment guidelines. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I can barely see you guys now, so please use the hand function if you guys needed any help. Okay, so we're gonna read this together. I might just call on some people to read, okay? All right, so Charlotte, could you read this for us, please? What is the objective of V1?
And to develop and strengthen ability to understand subtext through image and literature interpretation.
Okay, yeah, keep going, sorry.
To develop appreciation of literature and nurture interest in reading, and to enhance story building skills through creative critical speaking and writing projects.
Thank you so much. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, it is pretty much comprehension. So we have like our V1 program has 2 books each. So usually from experience, they are kind of linked. So for example, like Par is the dreamer and Bill Gates. So it might not seem like it, but it's so like for example, the dreamer is about like building dreams, and then Bill Gates is about like achieving it, right? So the very end of the term, they should be able to like put the 2 together and like understand the difference or themes and how those 2 line up, right, in different types of text. So that is the first part. So there's always 2 books. So week 1 to 6 is your first book, and then 7 to 12 is your next book. Yes, I believe 7 to 12, and then week 13 would be both books at the same time. Okay, any questions? Okay, so the idea is that the students should read before they come to class, and then you read again together. So you kind of like you will see that each what is it called, section for V1 is kind of like broken down. It looks through like different lines. So why was this line said, or why was this character acting? So just in case like the student read it on their own and then they didn't understand, this provides them more comprehension. But also at the same time, what do you guys think? Would the kids read the book at home on their own?
No.
Yeah, more than usual, they will not read the book. But the expectation is they should before they come. So most of the time, like the book is like so crisp and nice, and they have no idea what's going on. So it's really important that we go through those in class again. Okay, so here is the learning flow of the class. You guys can just have a look at that on your own, but this is what we want to pay attention to. Okay, Emily Nguyen, could you read this section for me, please? Context and subtext.
For literature and image interpretation, select passages from a narrative or closely reviewed to gain a deeper understanding of its subtext, fine art, and images, or analyze to further explore the themes within the narrative.
Thank you. So context and subtext is the discussion portion of our class. Sorry, I forgot to also mention V1 is a very discussion heavy class. Much like C1, you're testing for their understanding. You want the students to talk to you about how they understand the themes and things that's happening in the book, relating it to their own personal examples and experiences. Okay, so that's one big thing that you're looking for in class. So you should try with your prep to give as many relative examples as you can for the students. Okay, I will show you the rest of this because there is a subtext section, there's a fine art section, and then there's some images in certain pages of the actual book. I mean, of the actual smart textbook. Okay, Larnie, could you read literary analysis for me, please? Sorry, you're muted. Are you still muted? Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Various literary elements and devices within a narrative are studied and analyzed to enhance literary appreciation and understanding.
Okay, thank you. So the literary analysis section of the class is kind of like teaches them different types of literary analysis. So kind of like run-on sentences or things like that, right? So it differs in each book and each level as well. Like you wouldn't get like a really high level, I can't give an example right now, but you know what I mean. So like Eagle won't have the same type of literary analysis as Giga or Mega Student, right? Also, to side note, usually, I'm not sure with your locations, but usually V1 is run all the way from Mega to Alba Plus. But with some exceptions, I've seen it just been like mid to high, but at least always V1 Eagle to Alba Plus. Like I'm pretty sure almost every single location has V1 high. Okay, and then some V1 mid. Okay, the next part, Gabby, story project, please.
Yeah. Story project. In-class projects encourage students to empathize with elements of the narrative, personalize those elements, imagine situations related to the narrative, and create a project. These projects include diary entries, interviews, skits, stories, summaries, and movie campaigns.
Thank you. Okay, so the story project is, like I mentioned earlier, the project section where they can show their comprehension, and it's the application part of the class. The in-class projects should be related to what is the subtext or context for that week. So you can get creative with it. Each class does have one that's made for it, but like you probably already know, like similar with C2, you do not have to follow that, but you can do some type of a creative version of it. And it's also not limited to these, right? You know that we have tablets in class, and it's highly encouraged that the students use that for their presentations. More typical ones too are like drawing or just like interview. I'll go over different project examples later on because it's a big section of the class. Okay, so this is your class structure, and as you guys can see, it's broken up into three sections. Two major sections. So this is the comprehension section and then the project section, right? So it's all about how you like set up the students to create a good project to show you that they understood the entire class. Okay, so I'll go over exactly what the parts are. So Sylvina, could you read our first section, please? This is diverge and converge.
Diverge and converge. The objection to generate interest in the narrative and review understanding of key moments on the story arc.
Okay, yes, perfect. So in conversion diverge, it's the first page of each class. Okay, so first page of each class, You should try to talk about the theme for that week. Especially if it's a new book as well, you want to generate interest of what this book is about. So we have books about, you know, Bill Gates. How are you going to make that interesting from the beginning? So you should try to give as many media cards or like discussion questions in the beginning here. You also have to go through what part, what section they're in. So there's like the plot mountain right here, or roller coaster. A lot of people have different terms for it, but we just have to go over which section of the book they're in now, right? So exposition, the beginning of the book, what is an exposition? However, sometimes, right, so rising action might be a couple of classes. You don't have to go through it as in depth as the first few times that you did it, okay? For the first class is Converge. The second and on will be, first one is Diverge, the second and on will be Converge. Okay, so you have to discuss the cover image. So just talk about what is in the picture. Let me just see if I have, okay, so for example, this is Birdie. This is the SIG. Oh, they don't even have Converge right here. Sorry. So you would just look over the beginning section and look at, discuss, why is this happening, and preview. Why do you think this is the first picture in today's class? Kind of like C1, right? So in C1, there's photos there that you open, discuss, connect with the students. Okay, so I want to ask you guys a few questions about this. So some people have their cameras off, but I hope you're still there. So let's see, Zola, what would be a good media card to put in a Diverge section? Are you there? Yeah. Can't hear you. Zola?
She said her camera and her mic wasn't working. She told me like her camera's being really weird and her laptop.
Okay, fine.
So
okay, let's pick someone else. Summer, what would be a good media card to put in a Diverge or Converge section?
I guess really just something that's going to get the kids talking about what our story is, like what we're discussing that day.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. So let's see, Kyle, what else? So let's just say like it's Inside Out and Back Again. Kids have never heard about it.
Perhaps something that's related to the theme or a theme.
Yeah, for sure. Carletta?
If they've never heard of Inside Out and Back Again, just discuss, do you know what the different words mean, and put media cards to help them there. Maybe the book's cover as one of the media cards to generate discussion.
Okay, very good. All of those are correct. So we want to put something with information to introduce this, right? So it could be like the story, the book cover. Obviously, all the students will have the book. Sometimes the book is also adapted into a movie, right? So Stargirl is a movie. You could put a Stargirl, the trailer there. You could put pictures of characters. You can use polls as just examples. But the most important part is that you generate some type of interest. Okay, some of the books might be a little bit harder to do that for. So it's really important that in the beginning you set like that, okay, we're gonna talk about this today. Okay, so that's Diverge. Any questions about this section? So you wouldn't spend any more than like 10 minutes. Like I think 10 minutes is even too much, right? So about 5. So you just discuss it. Okay, next section is a story preview. Actually, this one is on Stargirl. This is actually Diverge. So for example, for story preview, you will get an actual trailer that is clickable. You can play it, okay? Let's see. Ian, could you read the objective, please?
Generate interest by using a video to preview, review moments from the narrative.
Thank you. Okay, so for the trailer, sometimes it just repeats the week before. Okay, so it's just to like remind the students what happened last week. Sometimes it's a preview. So trailer is only the first class and the 7th class. So when you're switching books, but then after that, it goes to previously every single time. Okay. So here you just play the video and then they fill in the blanks on what the speaker is saying there. Okay, so you can pause, you can discuss the key sections of the video, but for the most part, it's very self-explanatory. Okay, someone has their mics on. Okay, next one is story element. So this is where it's actually, we have to like actually teach the thing. Okay, so let's see, Sylvina, could you read?
To supplement understanding of the narrative by focusing on one of its story elements.
Okay, very good. So we also have a workbook for this. So kind of like you guys have seen the C1, C2 workbooks. This one has a workbook. V1 has a storyboard book, and that one should be assigned for homework. It depends again. So I mean, I've been to a couple of different locations and it's always been homework, but please double check with your FMs or TMs if it's homework, okay? So basically, they just have to draw whatever they learned in class and then write the different parts of the plot that was important, okay? All right, so this is the most important section. So I want to show you guys because this is actually different than, this is the newer and updated look of V1, but this is more like what you guys will see, this one right here. Okay, so you can see there are, this particular class has 6 different components, but there's only 4 that are starred. We call the starred section major components, and obviously the ones without it, minor components. Each major component takes about like 30 minutes to get through. Okay, about like 20 to 30 minutes to get through. Therefore, if you have 6, 7, 8, sometimes you even have 8, you don't have to go through every single one of them. Okay, remember that. So do not go through every single one of them. You will run out of time. You will not have projects for that class, and project is like where you can see that the kids actually do well. Okay, so for example, in this particular class, if I was teaching it, I only have to go through 1, 3, 4, and 6. Okay, so those are the major components. And usually we have at least 2 acts. So act 1 and act 2. It's kind of like, it's not really divided by chapter. It's kind of like Chungdam like chose the sections. Okay, this act has friendship theme. This act has sadness theme, or whatever it is, right? So it's not really broken up into particular chapters. So this is the newer look of the class, but I think this is only certain classes. Most of the ones that you guys will teach still looks like this. Okay. So first you go over the theme and the motive. So for example, in this one, Inside Out, Back Again, life in Saigon, and then traditions in that place, right? So let's discuss again what is important to do here. So Michaela, what do you think we should do in the theme section here when we're describing it to the kids?
Have them think back to what like the biggest points were from what we spoke about the week before.
All right, okay, very good. Naya, what else?
Connect the overall themes to the different motives, and like show like if they don't know what it means, how it will connect, and kind of similar to the first section, like have them generate interest and see how we're going to go through the book.
Yeah, exactly. So with this class as well, we have 25-75. I don't know if you guys remember that from your from your training, 25 and 75, listen and build on, right? So you're listening to the students, what they think, and then you keep building on. So similar thing to theme. So this is actually when you can use some of your 25 and discuss what the theme is for that week. Because sometimes you won't know what it is. So for example, life in Saigon, like they probably don't know Saigon. They don't know what happened there. You can spend that time. So you can connect it. You can go back like from the week before or preview the week after, but you should explain to them what that theme is, because they won't understand the context or subtext if they don't get what the theme is, right? And then the motive is kind of like the subtext. So life in Saigon, what are the traditions there, just for example, right? So you can use a story map to discuss the theme from the narrative. The 3 themes will be explored in the lesson. So each, like I said, like each class has at least 2 themes, right? So like Act 1, Act 2. So just go over at like both the themes so that they understand it. Okay, any questions for this section? I feel like I'm going a little fast. Okay. So context. So the page of V1, it scrolls like very, very long. Okay, so you can go through the page when you guys get your assigned classes. When you get your actual, what is it called? When you actually see the class on Teachers Portal, scroll through it and look at how much stuff you have to get done in that one page. Okay, so first section is connect. This is the same page, okay? Then you have context. So in context, they have to identify the time and place what's happening. So it's kind of just like setting, right? So for example, here, okay? So here, there's clickables. So you can click the dots on your tabs or on Teachers Portal. So when you click that, it should show what's happening in that setting, in the book. Okay, read this over with your students. What do you think we need to do in the settings section? Erin, what do we need to do in the settings section?
Probably help the students visualize the setting in which the story is taking. So whether that's time or cultural setting, trying to bring context within the actual setting in which the story is taking place.
Yeah, 100%. So you're talking about, it's always tied to the theme. So for example, here, it's traditions and it's like Vietnam, right? Because that's where it's happening. So you talk about it and then supplement with media cards again. So show, like, don't just, you guys are not limited to this, right? Maybe you could show history, background, or like what an actual person's house looked like during that time. And then you can relate it back to the book, okay? So the most important thing is that they visualize what's happening in the story, where it is and when it is happening. So setting repeats. So I might have this setting right now in this page. I go 3 pages down, it's going to be the same setting. I'm not going to go over it again. Okay, I might just brush over, oh, they're here again. But you don't have to, every single time that you get the same setting, you don't have to go through it in depth. Okay. All right, so context 2. So as I mentioned before, I don't think that most of the time kids will read, but they won't fully understand what they're reading, so they have to read it again. Okay, so context 2 is the section where the students actually read the book, fill in the blanks of what's missing here. Okay, so the idea is that you give them 3 minutes or so, depending on how long the sections are, and then they fill in the blanks of the lines there, and then you just talk about it. The lines are always significant to the theme. So for example, here, they're probably talking about tradition, because the follow-up question after that will be about the fill in the blank section. Now, if the students did not read, it's very essential for them to understand what's going on. So I do read parts of the book with my students. So for example, here, like this is page 1 to 3, maybe I'll read page number 1 because there's 2 fill in the blanks. Okay, just so that they can catch up if they did not read or if they did not understand parts of it. So after they read the sections, you can discuss why these happen. So discussion again, building on. But this is not the main discussion of this page. It's a very quick one, short one. Why did she say this? Okay, move on. Why did she say this? Okay, move on. Example. Because here, this section and this little question right here, that's where you actually have discussion, and that's going to be about, you want to aim for like 5 minutes of discussion for these sections. Okay. So, for example, here, based on the moment above, blah, 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 blah. It's always like that. Based on the moment above, what is happening? Okay. Any questions about this? So you can create your own discussion question here. And you can give your own example. So for example here, what traditions does your family follow? You can show your own family traditions, bounce off of each other's family traditions. Oh, that's cool. Give examples. Okay, you guys get it. It says right here too, it is not an in-class reading section, okay? But sometimes it's necessary if the students don't know it. Also, side note, by the way, most books, if your location like share books are already prepped, but the answers are not on teachers portal. Like you can't just like click it and it shows. So you have to like actually yourself read the book and then fill it out, because the teachers portal won't show you the answers. Okay. So next part, subtext, still the same page. This is still the same page. Okay, Christina, could you please read the narrative?
To build a deeper understanding of the meanings or emotions behind the moment of the narrative.
Okay, thank you. So this one is more about what people are feeling, the characters are feeling in the story, or what's the significance of a certain symbol that they saw there. But this one, it's kind of similar. You do have to give some type of discussion, media cards, and discuss this quickly. Okay, so this one says 5 minutes. It could be even, I've had classes where it's been longer than 5 minutes for the discussion in this section. Okay, and then the next part is art connection. So each page for major or minor, they have this like Renaissance type of artwork. Like this is, so that one is Alba Plus, right? And this is Birdie. Like they just have, every single class, they have these paintings. So the students have to look at the paintings and it'll ask them who is more like Stargirl or who's most like this character, and then they have to pick and explain to you. So what do you think the problems we might expect if you use these paintings in class? Kevin? Or the artwork?
I guess probably that it might just be, I guess if you don't lead them, it could kind of be confusing, kind of,
Yeah.
because you're supposed to explain their answers. However, if we just kind of throw it upon them about what, I don't know, I'm kind of confused by the question, this section itself, because you said it's like, what character is most represented by his art? I just don't know how that's used, if that makes sense.
No, so this section, I just gave an example. So okay. This section always has an artwork, and I was asked, what do you think would be the obstacle for us and the students if we always use this type of example here? Doesn't have to be Kevin. Let's check. Robbie, what do you think?
I think it kind of depends on the kids, but some of them may not be able to like critically analyze artwork depending on how old they are, or if we're doing this.
Yeah, no,
like
1000%.
Yeah, or like if we're doing it every week, it may seem kind of boring for kids who don't like it.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly it, right? So they don't understand what the artwork is. They might even find it strange because, you know, they don't appreciate it or they don't understand what's going on in the pictures. So do try to use them. So you're going to connect the artwork with the moment of the narrative by using the question that's in there. So for example, here, so you'll see there's a question: which of the girls look closest to your imagination of so-and-so character? Then you would pick it. Eileen, do you have your hand up? Oh, okay, sorry. Yes, so you can use your own media cards for this and mimic the same type of activity, if that makes sense, right? So you're going to pick 3 different images that are more relatable to the students, and then they can answer. They can pick within those 3 images that you chose. Okay? Sorry, guys. You're like lagging. Am I okay?
I think so.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. Everyone is like paused. I'm fine. It's okay. Okay. So, yes, so you can give your own media cards for here. You could even show videos of more you know, relevant type of examples. So you could use anything from K-pop, pop, anything, literally anything. Okay, so more relevant. But you should try to still use some of the artwork, maybe like at least once a class. Okay. There's 3 different types. So different types of exercises you could get with the artwork. 1 is what's happening here. 2 is compare, and then 3 is like which one. Okay. So just mimic that type of activity in the media card that you would replace it with. Okay, so literary analysis. So I mentioned this earlier that it would be different per level, and obviously they have some sort of small output here as well, which you can also incorporate in your projects. Okay, usually if you have enough time, you can make the project about literary analysis and the actual themes, like you can combine them. So for example, here this is traits, right? So character traits. So you want them to show character traits in a tradition. So maybe Thanksgiving dinner, like interview, Thanksgiving dinner, and then everyone shows their different character traits. Okay, so you can combine those 2. The only thing is, so literary analysis is near the end of the lesson, before project section. And usually, obviously check with your locations. Usually it's one that gets cut short, okay? Because it's, you have to go into projects, you don't have enough time, but please do make time to browse over what that literary analysis is for that week. Even just like read the section and then, or do this very quickly together, okay? Do the activity together as a class. This is important because they need to apply the literary element from the narrative. So if they don't, then they aren't able to apply it in projects as much. Okay, any questions about this? So yeah, just going back again. To the breakdown of class. Okay, so you can see right here that there's like time suggestions, but even for acts 1 to 3, it's 85 minutes, right? So even when you do need to do projects, do spend a lot of time doing all the acts. Okay, at least all the major components of the acts. Okay. And also you need to make sure that they are set up for the project before you jump into it. You don't just like throw them in like, oh, okay, project time. But I will go over different projects right now. Okay. All right. So for the story project, Obviously, you guys have experience in C2. Most of the time, for V1, you should get the kids to show you what happened in the story. So that entails something like storyboards or skits reenacting parts of the book. Okay, so the main thing is that it has to be story-based project. It's kind of different. So like comprehension, right? So they have to show that they understood and can give an example of what happened in the book. So the story project has 4 steps. It's epic. The first one is empathize. So first one, Emily again, sorry. What's the objective?
To empathize with characters and the moments of the story.
Okay, very good. I'm just gonna go over these quickly, okay? Just so you guys know what they are. Okay, let's see. Sylvina, Pete, please.
Yes. Oh, personalize. To connect elements of the story to experiences, opinions, and ideas of students.
Okay, you guys are so choppy for me. I'm not sure if I'm the same. Okay, David,
Imagine to generate ideas for creating the story project.
Okay, very good. And Briley, create.
To generate final output for the story project.
Okay, thank you. So in your actual storybook, you have every single page of epic, okay? However, you might already see the obstacles of this having been in class. If you have hybrid or offline or online, whatever, it's still kind of hard to some degree to get through every single one. So what I actually suggest is for you to just do epic in 1 page, right? So you don't have to go through every single one of them, but you should still have some type of element. You should still have empathize, personalize, imagine, and then create is the actual part where they create, right? So you should still outline it for the students step by step. You don't need to go through, because if you're making your own project, right, you don't need to go through every single one of these. Okay, so I'll actually show you guys different project, like one project that I've done with my students. So the first thing that you need to do is just to make sure that they understand what project they're doing for that week. So let's just say you ask them to do a story cover, like a book cover. Okay, what needs to be shown in the book cover? You need to show me the characters. You need to show me the conflict, maybe like some type of background that shows the conflict. I need to see some lines that are important for this book, whatever it is, right? So it needs to be very specific so that the students can see what, that you can see what the students understand with the project or with the book. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys quickly a project that I did in the past. So this is a PowerPoint project, and their PowerPoint project was to create a movie pitch. So their book is going to be a movie, okay? So this is a PowerPoint. This was for an online, fully online class. And this is actually one of the better piece I've ever seen. So they outlined the story. And then that's it, actually. But their script was really good for this, okay? So what you're looking for as well is their ability to pick the sections or pick the parts of the book that's relevant to whatever that project is. This was week 11, so it's already almost the end of the book. Okay, other projects include, like I mentioned, the storybook. So if you're gonna do, sorry, not storybook, like comic strip, yeah, the storyboard. I'm sorry. So you can print like the 6-cut storybook, and then you can just ask them, okay, do the 6 most important sections of today's reading, things like that. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about V1? Okay, if you guys don't have any questions right now, we are going to take the post test. You guys have to stay in here and do the post test and then let me know that you're done, okay? So I'm gonna send it in the chat right now. Okay, it should be about 10 minutes, should take you guys 10 minutes. Go ahead. Is Justin here? Justin? No. Ross? Just one last call. Ross.
Hello. Yeah.
Oh, Ross is here. Okay. Okay, since some people are done, I'll give you guys a couple more minutes. And then I have to send you another thing to fill out. So don't leave. Sorry, can I just see raise of hand who's not done? Okay, so a lot of people. Okay, okay. I'll give you guys like 3 more minutes. Okay, done? Who's not done? Kevin, Kyle, okay. Kyle and Ross, are you guys finished? Okay. Kyle. Okay, so finish, Kyle? Okay, perfect. Okay, so this was a very, very fast session, and V1, like comparison to what you guys have taught, like C1 and C2 is very different. So I do suggest that you guys mock this by yourselves or train it with your TM or FM. If you guys have any questions, just let them know in particular, okay? Because it's super different, and there's a lot of that you also need to go through in the workbook, like the homework and like expectations for how to make the students write the storybook, and it's very different from each location. So I didn't want to go in depth in that, but please do know that you need another training supplement. Just meet with your TM, okay, about this class. And then the next thing, I'm going to send you guys a resource link. So the segment guidelines and SIG should be there. So what we talked about today. And then the last thing that you guys need to fill out is the workshop survey. So you don't have to finish this in here. You guys can just open the link and go. Because I think most people have the next training with Ray. So I sent you guys another link. Did everyone get all the links? Thumbs up if you got it. Yeah? Okay. Got it? All the links? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. It was nice meeting you all. That's it for my session. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.